everyone, I'm Jodi and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here today. If you're like me, getting into your 50s has created an opportunity to really take a look at our skin from just a different lens. I think up until the last few years, I just assumed that my skin would look older with time, and by that I meant some wrinkles. I didn't really fully understand that it would start to get sagginess to it. It would look a little bit more elastic, if you will. I would start to see my pores where that really wasn't a problem up until a few years ago. And so that has caused me to really take a look at my skincare and evaluate, am I touching all of the right points? Do I have my essentials? And then my treatments. Am I overdoing it? Am I using the right type of serum? Am I applying the serums at the right time? All of that can be somewhat confusing. So today my goal is to break it down for you as simplistic as possible. Don't feel like you have to remember all this. Down in the description box, I will have a printable, a free download that you can print off and keep it so that you can at least see what I'm using, in which order, and when I'm using it: morning, night, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. As we age, our skin needs to be hydrated, it needs to be exfoliated, and it also needs some hyaluronic acid to keep moisture in. It needs niacinamide to lock that moisture in. And then it needs a vitamin C and a retinol to ensure that we're turning over the cells and getting rid of any dead, dull skin so that your more youthful, bright skin comes through, but also so that your makeup doesn't stick to any of the dry skin and look. That's where that patchy look can come from. So let's just jump right in. I wash my face twice a day, morning and night. Now, many of you that have watched me for a while know that I use coconut oil and have for years. I'll link that video right up here to walk you through exactly how I do it. Now, I also realize that not everyone can use coconut oil, but I do think that my skin is in the shape that it's in because I have used that coconut oil for years. I don't use a ton of moisturizer. I do use an exfoliant, but not as often as most people might. And I don't use a toner. So that all being said, if you can use coconut oil, you take about a dime size amount, put it all over your face, get a washcloth as hot as you possibly can, rinse all the water out so that it's just steam, and you hold that steamed washcloth about an inch from your face for a minute or so. Let that steam really get in and break up all of the makeup formulas underneath it, and then you wipe your face off, rinse out that washcloth, get it hot again, hold it up one more time, and then wipe off any remaining residue. Now, once you've done that, you can go on to your next step, but let's pause there because not everyone uses coconut oil and not everyone can, and I understand that. If you cannot use coconut oil, the face cleanser that I reach for if I'm gonna microneedle, for example, and one that you can try if you're allergic to coconut oil, is the Dr. Barbara Sturm cleanser. It's gentle enough to use every day. It doesn't strip your skin of any of its natural oils. It's good for sensitive skin as well as dry skin and oily skin, and you can use it twice a day. There's a few products from this brand in the lineup, and I've been pretty impressed with this. That's what I would use day and night if you cannot use coconut oil. The second thing, which is critically important as we age, is vitamin C. Now, you can Google vitamin C and there's a variety of thoughts, reviews, ideas of which vitamin C's are good, how to test if they're good. After reading this book, Skincare Decoded by Victoria Fu and Gloria Liu, and speaking to a few chemists, one of the things that comes through loud and clear is that vitamin C is a complex formula. How it's packaged is equally as important as where it falls in the process of your lineup. So for example, if you put vitamin C on after your moisturizer and after your sunscreen, the ingredients in those products can have a tendency to break down and make that vitamin C less effective. So everything that I have read and understood from professionals is that you want to use your vitamin C early on in the process so that and allow it to really go into the skin and dry down before layering your next product. When you start a new vitamin C, you'll want to test it and make sure that your skin is not irritated by it if you have sensitive skin. And you can do that by trying it maybe once a week, then going to twice a week. If you still don't have any irritation, then you can go to maybe 3 times a week or every day. It's totally up to you. I use vitamin C in the mornings, not in the evenings. In the evenings is where I use my retinol. We'll get to that in a second. And again, don't feel like you have to write all this down. I have it all linked down below for you, very clear to understand. The vitamin C that I've used for years and I love it is the Neutrogena Rapid Tone Repair. One of the reasons I love this is because the product is stable because of the individual little caplets that it comes in. It's very easy to use. You just twist off the top, pour it in your hand. I like to just put it on my fingers and then press it in everywhere on your face. And then you just want to let that dry down so that it doesn't feel tacky. And then you're ready to move on to the next step. Now the next step for me is by Derma E, and it's the Advanced Peptide and Collagen Eye Cream. I use just a tiny bit of this underneath my eyes and allow that to really set in. And the reason I like this one is because it's not too thick. It really absorbs into your skin very nicely. I put it just underneath my eyes. And it's not slippery. And I don't know if you guys have this problem, but it does not matter what type of concealer I'm using. If what I have under that concealer is slippery at all, that concealer starts to settle into fine lines and wrinkles, and it doesn't stick to my skin as well. So I don't get the benefit of covering up some of that purple under my eyes, whether it's a color corrector or a concealer, if what's under my eyes, a serum or a moisturizer, is too thick or slippery. This does not seem to have that runny issue. Even though my skin is dry, you would think it would just suck it all up and there'd be no possibility of anything slipping. And with this, that's not the case. So I put just a little dab of that in and let that sit. And then I typically will go brush my teeth at this stage, and then I will come back and add a little bit of face oil. I like to just use a drop of this Kiehl's facial oil, especially in the summertime and then in the cold winter months. I don't necessarily do facial oil in the spring or the fall for no reason other than it's just one less thing I have to do. I don't see the difference in my skin enough to add that extra step. Summer, absolutely, and winter when I'm in that artificial heat through heaters and stuff, absolutely do it there as well. If you're interested to know more about what type of facial oil you should be using for your dry skin, oily skin, or normal skin, then I've just recently done a short, so you can find that on my YouTube channel. Last but not least, to finish my daily routine before we go out of skincare and into makeup in my morning, is to add some sunscreen. Now you guys know I love my La Roche-Posay, so I will take about 2 pumps of this and put it all over my face. Now, because I have enough moisture left from my coconut oil washing in the morning, I don't add an additional moisturizer to my skin. Once I've done this step, I will then go into primer. If you tend to have more dry skin, however, La Roche-Posay has a fantastic daily moisturizer with niacinamide in it, so you can check that box, and therefore you're getting the benefit of the niacinamide as well. I've used that one in the past. I just didn't find that I needed that extra level of moisture, again, because of that coconut oil. So from there, I'm ready to apply my primer and then start my makeup routine. So that's not so bad. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 products. Not too bad. After washing my face with the same gentle cleanser that I use in the morning, I'll put on my Retinol. And a few months ago, I switched to the Paula's Choice 1% Retinol treatment with peptides and vitamin C. Now, I don't use this as my sole source of vitamin C. I do use that Neutrogena in the morning. However, I do like that my Retinol has a vitamin C in it. I don't mind that I'm using it in the evening, because the only benefit from vitamin C that I don't get by using this one in the evening is the protection from free radicals, which I've got that covered in the morning Neutrogena routine. So I use just about 2 drops of this. It has not been irritating to my skin. So if you have sensitive skin, again, I would start with maybe once a week, see how that does, and work your way up. It's 1%. I have seen a difference in my skin. I think this, coupled with the moisturizer that I'm going to share with you, has made a big difference in the way my skin looks overall. I just feel like it's more dewy. I feel like my pores don't take on this huge life of their own. So I've enjoyed the strength of this, and it's not irritating. So for that, I'm very, very grateful. And if you haven't tried Paula's Choice Retinol, this might be a good one to get your hands on. Then I'm all about serums and heavier moisturizing creams. The first thing that I'll add after I wash my face is the Dr. Barbara Sturm Super Anti-Aging Serum. I use this pretty sparingly. It is so thick that I just use 2 drops of it. I'm gonna put it on my arm now so I don't wanna waste it. And I will put it right on the pads of my fingers, and I'll press it into my under eye area. And then I'll press it around my lip area, because I'm just starting to see lines there that are really becoming bothersome. This also contains what they call long chain hyaluronic acid, which intensely moisturizes the skin and helps plump up those fine lines and wrinkles. It also contains what they call short chain hyaluronic acid, which moisturizes deep layers of the skin. In addition to my skin feeling more hydrated and the fine lines and wrinkles diminishing over time, I feel like my skin looks tighter, and it's not lifted by any stretch. I don't want to exaggerate that. I just feel like it's a tighter look to the skin, not from a not an itchy or a dry tight, but just a tighter overall appearance to the skin surface. And I let that serum really penetrate into my skin before finishing up with the Dr. Barbara Sturm face cream. It's a lighter cream. Because of the formulation, the skin's own antioxidant system is activated. It also has the Fountain of Youth enzyme, telomerase, for a smoother, firmer appearance and a more redefined complexion. It contains vegetable liptids, which preserve the skin's moisture and encourage skin regeneration. It's made without fragrance, mineral oil, or parabens. After incorporating this face cream into my nightly routine, and it's every night, I started to see that my skin looked healthier in the morning. My makeup looked a little bit better. My skin felt tighter in the morning, but not unhealthy tight. And my skin feels more dewy and renewed, if that makes sense. I've really loved this. I think it is a little on the pricey side, but it's worth every penny. But I've really seen the results of this in my skin and the way my skin feels, where I don't have to use a heavier foundation the next day if I don't want to. I can get away with a tinted moisturizer and not be afraid of my dull skin coming through. This and the addition of an exfoliator that I'll share with you in just a second. So this has been a valuable and impactful addition to my nightly skincare routine. And to round out the nighttime skincare routine, I use the Revitalash on my lash line and the Revita Brow just up in my brows to help ensure healthy, long lashes and brows. And again, that is a nightly routine for me. And then right before I go to bed, I like to put the B. Glynn Q-Sim Power Bright on the backs of my hands. Now it's a little bit off chart for them. This is actually meant to go underneath the eyes to brighten up the eye area and encourage cellular turnover. I found this to be really helpful in that area, yes, but I like to put this on my hands so that my hands can catch up to the skincare routine that I've put on my face for years. And because of how potent this is and how well it works and how fast it works, I like to leave it penetrating into my skin on my hands throughout the evening. And I feel like my hands are starting to come around and not be such a telltale sign for my age. So jumping into twice a week, usually on Sundays and Wednesdays. If you have dry skin, you might want to do this more often, and that is to exfoliate. I don't find that I need to exfoliate my face every day, but when I do need to exfoliate, I use this Zeo Skin Health by Zian Obagi. It's their exfoliating polish. Yes, the Obagi. Once he sold that line, the Obagi skincare line, he wasn't able to create anything new and put his name on it for a certain amount of time. Once that time frame was over and he was able to get back into the market, he created the Zeo Skin Health and Zeo Skin Medical. The medical grade is obviously more potent and you need to get that typically at a dermatologist office, a med spa along those lines. The whole line is phenomenal. It's a little on the pricey side, but the ingredients are such quality, you can't beat the results. Now this contains magnesium oxide crystals that provides that little graininess that helps slough off any of the dead skin that you have on your face, and it is said to be safe for all skin types. And those crystals are so small. I wish there was a way for you guys to really be able to see how small those are. It is gentle enough to use every day, so if you had sensitive skin, I think you would still be okay with this. And along with those crystals to help exfoliate your skin, it has a stable vitamin C ester that helps brighten the skin. So if you're in the market for a new exfoliator, I think you'll really enjoy this exfoliating polish. And to ensure that I get an AHA and a BHA, I go in on Sunday evenings with the Drunken Elephant facial. Is it called facial? Baby facial. This stuff, you guys, I would use this not only once a week, but if you have a special event, I would use this the night before, not only on your face, but if you're going to be showing your chest area or your arms and your hands. I love, love, love this. But word of advice, longer is not better. I left this on overnight thinking, oh, I'll just go take it off in the morning. It never dries down. It is a great mask, but it does not dry down. And I was awake all night because my head kept sticking to the pillow. So please use it as directed. Leave it on for about 10 minutes and then rinse it off, and you can see the results instantly. If you don't wear makeup and you just add a little bit of moisturizer in the day, your skin will really benefit from this, both internally and from a visual perspective. If your skin tends to be dry, even if it's just in areas, I would absolutely recommend using this. After using all of that and paying special attention to my face, I recently visited a dermatologist and I was expressing concern over how dry my skin has become as I've aged. Not only do I need to add more moisture into my skin, but I need externally for my skin to just look more hydrated. Certainly using an exfoliant on your whole body is important, which is where body scrubs play an important role. But after I get out of the shower, the dermatologist recommended that I pick up this CeraVe, the SA cream. Now, at first I was like, gosh, is that all I really need? I can get that at the drugstore. And she said, you'll be surprised how well this works. And you guys, when I tell you that of all the stuff that I've shared with you today, the one single thing that's had the biggest impact where I can see it immediately and the results last is this. If you're like me and your skin gets that ashy, real dry, kind of unpleasantly crackly look, especially in summer or in the dead of winter, I can add oil to it. I love the Neutrogena oil. I can add shea butter to it. I can add coconut oil to it, but it just starts to, it feels like it only lasts for a little while and it just absorbs it so quickly, and I'm constantly reapplying it. I don't want to have to put shorts on and then worry in 2 hours if my legs look dry again. And that's why I've loved this so much, is I can put this on after I shower in the morning and go about my day. And just the other day I was getting ready to go to bed and I looked down, thought, my legs still look great, as good as they can for, lack of exercise activity recently. But the skin looked fantastic, and this is the only thing I'm using on my skin. And I know so many of us as women struggle with dry skin, and if I can just say, the solution is so within our reach, and it is on Amazon, it's at the drugstore. It doesn't have to be an expensive product. It's products like this that make me feel really grateful for having a YouTube channel where I can share this with as many women as can possibly hear the message, because it is just one of those, I don't want to say it's life-changing, that just seems a bit over dramatic, but if you suffer from dry skin and you know what it's like to sort of cover yourself up in situations where you don't want to be covered up, it can be it can be awkward, it can be uncomfortable, it can be hot when you wear pants and you want to wear shorts. This stuff's been phenomenal. So it's within reach. You can get it almost anywhere, and it is not expensive. And I'm not sponsored by CeraVe. I'm just so excited that this worked as well as it did, and I want to share it with all of you. So there you go. All right, and then you guys, I have to plug this book one more time. Again, not sponsored. I don't even think that these two women, Victoria Fu and Gloria Liu, know that this channel exists, but I have learned so much about skincare in this book. It just breaks it down and easy to understand. It uses words to explain the ingredients and what the ingredients does in just very normal terms that I can understand and go, oh, I do need a little bit more of that. My skin doesn't need as much of that. I can move that before the serum, after the night cream. It's just so helpful. So I'll link this down below in case you're looking for, you can probably get it in audiobook. I'm not even sure if it's an audiobook or not, but I love this. So I think that does it for me, you guys. Of course, this is just my skincare routine. You'll need to customize what you need more or less of based on if you're oily skin, dry skin, more wrinkles, less wrinkles. You'll just need to make those little adjustments. But everybody's skin has the essentials and then the treatments, and you'll see that all broken down on the printable, downloadable page that I have for you in the description box. Thanks so much for watching. Please share this with any of your friends that you think might be struggling with skincare or just want to know more about the skincare that they need for their aging, beautiful, mature skin. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.